Imagine walking into an airport. People around you are busy. Some are traveling for work. Some are meeting their families. Everything feels normal. Now imagine this. You hand over your passport. The officer looks at it. And suddenly, his face changes. He looks confused. Then scared. Because according to that passport, your country does not exist. This is not a movie scene. This is not science fiction. This is a real mystery that shocked officials in 1954. This is the story of the man from Taured. Let us go back in time. The year is 1954. Japan is rebuilding after World War II. International travel is becoming common again. Airports are busy but strict. Security rules are tight. Fake passports are taken very seriously. On a normal day at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, a man arrived from Europe. He looked about 40 years old. He was well dressed. He looked calm and professional. He carried himself like a businessman who had traveled many times before. When it was his turn, he stepped forward confidently. He spoke politely to the officers. He understood their language. He followed all instructions. Nothing about him felt suspicious. Then the officer opened his passport. At first, everything looked normal. The paper felt real. The stamps looked official. The passport had entry and exit visas from many countries. But then the officer saw the country name. Taured. The officer checked again. He had never heard of this country. The officer called his senior. Other officers gathered around. They searched through records. No country named Taured existed. Not in Asia. Not in Europe. Not anywhere in the world. The man noticed the confusion. He asked politely, "What is the problem?" The officers told him that his country does not exist. The man looked shocked. He said, "That is impossible. Taured has existed for more than 1,000 years. He sounded confident. Not like a liar. To prove their point, the officers brought out a world map. They asked him to show where Taured is. Without hesitation, he pointed to Europe, right between France and Spain, exactly where Andorra exists today. He said, "This is Taured." The officers were stunned. The man started getting frustrated. He said, "Andorra is not real. You must be mistaken." He could not understand how the world had changed so much. Officers checked his other documents, his driving license, his company papers. Everything checked out. The company he worked for was real. It even had branches in many countries. The officials were confused and worried. They suspected fraud, but they had no proof. So they decided to keep him overnight. For further investigation, he was taken to a nearby hotel. His room was high above the ground. Guards were placed outside his door. The windows were locked. Every movement was being watched. The man did not panic. He did not try to escape. He simply said, "Tomorrow this mistake will be fixed. My embassy will explain everything." The next morning, guards opened the door. The bed was untouched. The suitcase was gone. The man had vanished. The windows were still locked. No one saw him leave. His passport was missing. His documents were missing. Even his hotel records were gone. It was as if he never existed. Some believe he came from a parallel universe. Others believe he was a time traveler. Some believe governments erased the truth. No theory has been proven. If this story is fake, why was it never officially denied? And if it is real, what other worlds exist beside ours? Maybe some doors should never be opened.